Hello, my name is Whistler and welcome to my Allay build tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an Allay that can be easily swapped for other colours. As it so happens, almost all of the blocks that I use for this design are light blue block variants. So building an Allay of a different colour is as simple as changing blocks to your desired coloured variant. That means that if you want to build the yellow Allay from Minecraft Legends, it's as simple as changing all of the blocks to the yellow variant. The exception to this rule is the bottom blocks, these blue glazed terracotta blocks, which can be easily swapped out for something else, like these raw gold blocks. There will always be a good alternative there. But why limit yourself to light blue and yellow? There are many other colours in the spectrum too. For example, here's a lime Allay, which I feel could belong in an enchanted forest. And if I break in here, you can see that I even added spore blossoms to create some nice magical particles. I think that adds a nice effect. Another example is the pink Allay that I built in my Hardcore Season 2 world that's currently carrying a floating island house. Now this Allay design is ever so slightly different to the Allay model. I wanted to carry over the idea that the wings are currently being used, so I angled the wings slightly upwards and away from the body there, just to match what the Allay is currently doing in its idle animation here. I've also added candles to the wings to create a kind of fairy dust effect that comes from the Allay's wings, which is one of the things that I love most about this design. Anyway, the colour that we're going to build in this tutorial is the light blue variant to match the mob that's currently in the game. I've had a look at the blocks, and what you'll need is 6 blue glazed terracotta blocks, 12 light blue glazed terracotta blocks, 32 light blue wool, 19 light blue concrete blocks, the hardened variant, and then a stack and 10 of light blue concrete powder. You'll also need 2 stacks and 32 light blue candles, 4 jack-o'-lanterns, although this can be any light source you can desire. I've only used jack-o'-lanterns here because they will be cheap for your survival worlds. We're also going to use 4 powder snow buckets for the eyes, and 6 blocks to help carry some of the light blue concrete powder on the Allay's head. You may also need some placeholder blocks just to help you build this thing, because there are some tricky bits. Especially these wings here, because I constructed them out of the light blue concrete powder, and they're being carried by these candles, which means that you'd have to place a block below the candles, and then the candles on top of those blocks, because you can't place them otherwise, and then the light blue concrete on top of those blocks. It's a bit of a challenge, but I promise you it's worth it. And if you're wondering about the dimensions, well, this Allay can fit within a 19 by 10 by 12 block box. So as you can see, it just fits perfectly into this white and black wool box that I have created here. So without much further ado, let's build ourselves an Allay. So we're going to start building this Allay from the bottom, and for that, we're going to place 2 placeholder blocks just to get ourselves into our prime building position, and we're going to place our first block on top of that, of the blue glazed terracotta variant. And then we're just going to zigzag upwards like that, remove those 2 blocks, so we've got a nice 3 block diagonal there. And then on the opposite side, we're going to do the opposite direction, like so. There you go. And then on top of these blue glazed terracotta blocks, we're going to place some light blue glazed terracotta blocks. And then on top of that, we're going to zigzag upwards with the light blue hardened concrete. And then in the empty corners, we're going to put some light blue wool. And that's the main body of the Allay done. So now we'll move on to the head. So for that, we're going to place a temporary block there, and then this is going to be the front of our face there. And we're going to put 3 light blue wool blocks like that. Some light blue concrete on either side. And one of the first things I want to do is to create the eyes. So we're just going to do that with our jack-o'-lanterns. And then we're going to put powder snow in front of the jack-o'-lanterns, because we're not actually going to see the light sources at all. But what it's going to do is this is going to help light up the Allay at night, so that the mob is never really quite darkened. As you can see here, I've just changed it to nighttime to show you what that effect gives. And it helps give the Allay a nice healthy glow in the dark. And that's why I've used powder snow with jack-o'-lanterns behind them. And then to build the rest of the Allay's face, we're going to put some wool here, some concrete powder there, and some more wool over here. And then we're going to fly up a little bit, and we're going to place some more concrete powder there, some wool, and then some concrete powder there. Next, we're going to put some more wool there, and also here. And then the rest of the face is going to be pure concrete powder. And there we go. We now have an Allay face. Next, we want to build the arms, which I have actually angled slightly away from the body there. So, to do that, we're going to place our concrete blocks here and our wool blocks like this in a nice little checkerboard pattern. And then we're going to place a temporary block there and bring this block out here 1 block away from the body. And then we're going to create another checkerboard pattern here. So that's one arm done. And now on to the other arm. Now I don't want this build to be symmetrical, so we're going to swap the blocks around. We're going to use our wool block here and then our concrete powder to create our nice little checkerboard pattern. And then we're going to bring that out by 1 block again, just like so. And then that should be the arms of the Allay done. And then to finish the rest of our Allay's head, we're going to place some wool blocks here, and then some concrete powder on top of that, and this block here, and again on the other side. And then we're going to swap to our light blue glazed terracotta and place them just like so. And the same on the other side. And then with our wool, we're just going to place 3 blocks up like that, and then 1 block here, and another block there. Mirroring the same effect on the other side. And then going back to our concrete powder, we're just going to finish off the sides here. I also want to use concrete powder for the top of the head here, but as you can see, it just likes to fall, doesn't it? So we're going to use some stability blocks here. This could be any block you like, you're not going to see it regardless. And then we're going to place our light blue concrete on top of that. And then for the back of the head, we're going to place a concrete block here, and then wool on either side. And then we're going to create a bit of a U shape with the concrete powder. And then we're going to put some wool on top of that, and then again in the middle. And then we're simply going to fill in the rest with the light blue concrete powder. And there we go. That is the easy part of the build done. All we have left is the wings. And that's the tricky bit. But I have faith that you can follow me along with that. And since we're going to be building our wings out of floating concrete powder, we're going to be needing to build our placeholder wings first, so that we can place our candles beneath and then the concrete powder on top. And so for that, I'm going to use cobblestone as my placeholder block, and we're going to place a block there, and then 1 to the side here, and then another 2 blocks down. And then from there, we're just going to place a temporary block there, and then another block here. Remove that temporary block, and then another block on top, 2 below, and then another block sticking out the side here. And then from there, another temporary block, and then place a permanent block there, remove the temporary block, and then we want to build a rectangle that is 6 blocks tall and 2 blocks wide. And then from there, another temporary block and another temporary block on top of that, and then 2 permanent blocks here, and remove the temporary blocks like that. And then another temporary block here, permanent block there, remove the temporary block, and then we want to zigzag down for another 3 blocks. And that is our first placeholder wing. We're now going to do the same on the other side. We're simply going to mirror what we've done over here. So cobblestone block here, another 3 going down there, and then temporary, then permanent, remove the temporary, block above, block on the side, and then 2 going down, temporary block there, permanent block there, remove the temporary block there, permanent block there, and then remove the temporary block, place another 6er, a nice 6 block rectangle, and then a temporary block here, another temporary block on top, and then 2 permanent blocks off the side, and remove the temporary blocks. And then another temporary block here, and we're just going to zigzag our way down like so, and removing the temporary block that we didn't remove yet. So these are going to be our placeholder wings, but we need to get our candles beneath the wings to create our fairy dust effect. And for that, we need to place the candles on top of a block. We cannot place them on the side. I'm clicking my mouse, nothing is happening. But they can float if you remove the block beneath them once you've already placed them. So for that, we're going to place a second placeholder block, and we're going to build 2 blocks downwards beneath every single cobblestone block at the bottom here. Just like so. Oh, no, that's a mistake. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, not that way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. And we're just going to do the same here for this little bit of the wings as well, and matching that on the other side. And now we're going to remove the top of our placeholder blocks. There we go, so we've got a little bit of a gap to place our candles in. Just like this. And then now we can get our candles into place. I'm going to put 4 candles on top of each jack-o'-lantern here. Although it doesn't have to be 4 candles. If you think that's too expensive for you, you can change it to 1 candle if you'd like. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Although I do feel like it adds a nice bit of a lighting effect to the wings at night. But once you've got those candles in place, you can feel free to remove the second placeholder blocks because we don't need them anymore. So, I'm just going to remove all of these jack-o'-lanterns here. And now that all of those candles are in place, I can swap out all of the cobblestone with light blue concrete powder. Just like so. Be mindful that you don't accidentally place from the top. So if I happen to place the concrete powder at the top here and swap it downwards, it would fall and then it would break. And we don't want that. And I also don't want to make mistakes like dropping our concrete powder either. So be sure to swap out the concrete powder from the bottom and then make your way upwards from there. And now we have our light blue concrete powder wings in place. So all that's left is to place the rest of the candles on top of the wings. Just like so, I've gone for 4 candles on top of each block again, but if you feel like that's too expensive, you can feel free to only place 1 if you prefer. And that's all of the candles in place, but I actually feel like I would like to light these. So let's get ourselves a flint and steel. I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of lighting to this whole build. I guess that's something I should have mentioned as well. You may have to use a flint and steel for this build project as well. And then with these last few candles, there we go. We have finished building ourselves our allay. I hope you've all been able to follow along with me. I've not done a build tutorial before, so I'm sorry if this wasn't a very good video, but if it was, please feel free to let me know, and maybe I'll consider doing another one in the future. But yeah, this is our allay. It's pretty cool, right? Now you might be asking, what if I want to have the allay hold something like you did in your hardcore world? Well, in that case, I would actually move these arms slightly further forward. Just like so. And we want to keep our checkerboard pattern as well. Don't forget to remove the blocks as well at the back. And then all I had in my hardcore world was a bit of a beam for it to hold on to. Just like so. And then you can have anything hanging onto that beam, dangling below, or anything you like. You can even stick the arms out further forward and having it hold a block if you so desire. It is ultimately up to you. Anyway, I hope you all like my allay design. Please remember to give credit if you plan to use it in a video of your own. It'll be greatly appreciated. But on that note, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.